Yeah. Happy Saturday! Woo woo! All right. Starting on another book. You know what? I picked this book up in Georgia. Let me tell you exactly where. Beautiful shop. Let me see. I didn't think to look for it till now. My apologies. Botanical. I think it's called Yemi. Atlanta. Oh, you know what? Orisha. I was looking for Orisha shops in Georgia. That's what it's called. Yi's Botanical. Beautiful shop. Loved it. I had went a few times actually. Great energy, marvelous selection. Um, Learned a lot while I was there. I seen this book and picked it up. It's off of Campbellton Road Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia. I was looking for the, okay, 30311. Website yeyesbotanica.com. YEYESBOTANICA.com. They do tarot card readings there, although I've never had a tarot card reading there. And then the first time I went there, I looked around the store, put my stuff on the counter. I had to use the tea-towel so bad. He said, we normally don't let people use our restroom. Listen, unless y'all want me to use it right here, we're gonna need to make an agreement for the bathroom. So they did go ahead and let me use the bathroom, and I continued my shopping and my filming. Lovely shop, nice people, just glorious. They got some cute t-shirts and some gorgeous jewelry there. Of course, I was picking up ritual candles so I could do candle magic. All right. The name of the book is called Yiri Ifa, Toenail Poetry, The Voice of Ifa, an exposition of Yoruba, the divinational chants. Yemi Elebuibon, Awise of Osogbo. Now, I didn't get it the first time I seen it, and something kept nudging at me. And spirit kept nudging at me. So I went back. The next time they was open, I pressed it online and everything and got the book. The book is normally $75. Well, I'm not going to say that. The book was $75 there at the store. And I went and pressed it online. It was much higher. And it wasn't a real popular book, but I didn't want to sell out and to be higher and me not have it. So this is one that is going to stay in the collection. Okay, and the chief is from the Osun state in Nigeria. I'll read you a little bit about him. All right. He was born in 1947. He comes from a family acclaimed to be one of the authorities on Yoruba traditional institutions. He's a direct descendant of Oluthimihin, co-founder of the city of Osogbo. He began his priesthood training at the age of 4. He received his formal education through correspondence courses. His parents insisted on his thorough grounding in the traditional institutions and culture through his apprenticeship with renowned priest of the day. Yemi is a poet, performing arts playwright, herbalist, and practicing Babalawo, Ifa priest, Babalowo. He has published several books and scholarly papers on various aspects of Yoruba traditional religion and culture. Yemi is also a recording artist with several credits on Yoruba poetical genre known as Iwi. His mostly social commentaries and parallax snaps showed his acute observations in life and cultural philosophy. His traditional morality drama, Ifi Olokun, Asarodile, cooed from Udu, Ifa, was presented on Nigeria National Television Network popular weekly series. Yemi is an international scholar in residence at the San Francisco State University, California, USA, where he lectures on African traditional religion and culture. He is the founder of Ancient Philosophy International Institute of Osogbo, Nigeria, a research center he dedicated to teaching African traditional religion and the performing arts. Yemi's numerous awards and recognition include Lifetime Achievement, Chieftaincy as a Awise of Osogbo, a title that elevated him to a venerated position in the priesthood hierarchy. He was recently named Eteyero Asa by the Abafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Nigeria, for his contributions to Renaissance traditional scholarship. He is married with children. I started reading this book, and life just got so busy, and I said, well, I would like to finish now. And I'm going to do that with you. Amen. And lovely. And I see. All right. Well, part of it. I'm going to do part of it. But you're going to probably need to buy the book in order to look at how things are spelled, because I'm not going to be spelling out the whole book. Okay? This is one you definitely want to have in your collection. The origin of Iri singing. Iri singing is known to be the most important aspect of Ifa, divinizational and liturgical chanting. There are many chants that an Ifa priest has to memorize during his extensive training as an apprentice. Babalawas are known to be experts in mastering various forms of incantations. For example, Ofu and Ejindi, as well as Oriki, praise poetry of various subjects, including individuals, royals, ancestral lineages, trees, birds, and animals are mentioned in Ifa literary verses. We should all realize there is an experienced Ifa priest and generally well-versed in Yoruba cultural history and traditions. Ifa is the authority for classical Yoruba culture and traditions. Ifa is also the basis for understanding the collective and communal essence of Yoruba culture and traditions. In addition to the Odu Ifa, dissemination uses the oral tradition as a living form of cultural transmission. Arire chanting. Arire is a powdery substance collected from the dried Orosun tree. Ayure singing, on the other hand, is one of the liturgical Ifa divination chants. Ire Orosun is the powder used during Ifa divination, sacrifice, and medicinal processes. Ire Orosun is an important tool used by Ifa priests during divination. Ire Sisun, Ire singing, or Ire piping, Ire chanting, is one of the many types of great classical chants. We have different kinds of poetry chants in Yoruba land. Ajala is the chant for Ogun and Isa. Iwi is for Ugungun. There are other forms of poetry for other divinities. Each one has its unique style, musical rhythm, and poetry. Occasionally during Ifa recitation for a client, an Ifa priest may mention a few lines of Ira Ife in order to clarify the message and the instructions, hence the voice of Arumila in Agire. He speaks to all and also gives warning through his form of tonal poetry. For example, if Abara Asa Ifa says it is forbidden for a priest to chant anything but the Ire at the funeral of a fellow Ifa priest, the leader of the soloist of this important poetry is called Asun Ire, he who chants Ire. An example from Abba Ra Osa, one of the minor Odu Ifa, says, Ajan is like Ajan. LA is just like LA. The horse believes in running the race. The chest of a woman cannot support two people at the same time. Ife divination was performed for Ajala, the offspring of the hunter at the farm. It also cast Ife Falamo, the offspring of Ejesa, and Eje, the offspring of Egba. Ife divination was performed by Irire, the offspring of Arumila, when Ajala died. All the hunters got together. They chanted Ajala Lamo, the offspring of Ajisa, died. They also chanted Lamo for him. When Egi, the offspring of Egba, died, Egi was enchanted for him. When Ayire, the offspring of Rimila, died, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing anything wrong because I don't speak Yoruba. All right. They chanted Ife poetry for him. Awo is forbidden to weep for the dead. It is Ayire, the priest, chants. I'm not Nigerian either, but that's okay. You don't have to be to study this religion or tradition. All right. Upon all investigations of the Adu corpses, and we learned that Adu, heaven, we could not find other meaning to Ayire's origin except the Ayire is one of the sons of Orunmila, just as Ajala is the son of Ogun. Both divinities speak through them in their poetry. According to the Odu above, to the heavens above, it seems that the Ifa uses a parable in describing Ayure as his own offspring and likewise for Ajala to Ogun. After Ayure and Ajala died, people started to chant Ayure and Ajala for them. In the case of Ayure, who was the child of Orunmila, the priests were forbidden to sing Ayire. They chanted poetry for him, hence when all Ifa priests came together, Eleku, the houses did, a funeral rite for the Babaloa, they chant Ayire. One may ask if all of those were regarded as offsprings or divinities in Yorubaland. What happened in the case of Ikun Ayawo, a ceremonial marriage song, and Oriki Orile, the ancestral lineage praise songs, it is Oriki that relates a person's origin, the extent of his powers, wealth, or prominence, and of course his or her accomplishments. We shall, however, examine Ifa literary poetry and some Oriki that came directly from Ife corpora. We shall learn more of the Ogun poetry, Ajala, as it appears to Odu Ifa. We shall also examine the characteristics and forms of Ayere Ifa. It is our hope that this will surely be of great help to researchers and scholars of Yoruba and other African traditional religions. The first person, a deity, to introduce this form of poetry was Orunmila. We shall also discuss Yoruba incantations called Ofo and Agedi. Each genre has its distinctive style of vocalization or technique of vocal performance. Yoruba traditional poetry is best described not so much by the themes as by stylistic devices employed in recitals. Yoruba language is tonal and by nature already has its own musical qualities, which I learned when I started reading it. I was like, oh, that's different. That's okay though. There is a distinctive mode that defines each genre through its performance. An experienced listener to the various vocal art forms will be able to discern that distinction immediately. However, the recital style employed by a performer may not be as complex as the training of the performer. We also have Sango and Oya Pipi, invocations which are associated with other divinities and their devotees. As pointed out in Odu Ifa Abara Asa, there are several Yoruba communities that are associated with traditional songs such as Eji in Egbaland, Efi belonging to the Egbaras, Alamo and the Asamo among the people of Ekiti in Odu Ondo, state of Nigeria, Ondo. In Ele Efe, we have the Adamo of Efe and the Ajisa land, the Asari. All occasions and ceremonies Yoruba life are accompanied by songs. All. There are songs for births, naming ceremonies, weddings, and in funeral ceremonies. Sound like church, don't it? Everyday life is also accompanied by a great deal of singing and dancing. We need to have some more dancing parts. Daily activities are accompanied by a good amount of call and response. Okay. Ifa refers to all of these in Ogdu Indigbi. Ajande pi agbo majo, adifi fun wan lotufi, aye e won danke siri siri, Banana trees form a circle, but they do not dance. Ife divination was performed for citizens of Otu Ife when the town was exceedingly silent. King Ajale sought the help of an Ife priest known as Ojegdi P. Ogbo Mojo. Life in Otu Ife was at a standstill. There were no social functions. Confusion and pestilence were the order of the day. Women were barren. Severe drought threatened life for several years. The priest told the king that until music was brought back into the town, the hopelessness and the penury would remain. He told the king to sacrifice a she-goat to his Oki Apori with a lot of food and drink. The first statement by the priest was, Ojon pi ile olere lo nale yi indon. Are traditional entertainers banished from this town, was the question. Oba Oba Insodun Ao Jibonhun Ape. Obo Ines Owawa Ao Jibonhun Ojo. Obo Inse Asani Samodun Ao Jibonhun Alawo Wowo G. The King Celebrity's annual Ape festival, and we do not hear the sound of clapping. The king celebrates Araro, first rain of the year, and we do not hear the sound of rain. The king celebrities Asani Samo Dun to live to celebrate again, and we do not hear the sound of Alawowo Jiji. The king sacrificed as directed. He also made a special sacrifice to his Oki Ipori, destiny. He sent for traditional entertainers, the gongs from the city of Ireri, the kettle drums of Ikija, and he stretched his legs, dance caught it, he started to dance. There was joy and celebration. The city began to enjoy its long-lost peace, and all evils were driven out of the town by the sound of the joyous music. They enjoyed the blessings of money, wealth, food, and children. As a reminder of their experience, the king ordered that henceforth no musician should be driven out of town. Since then, everything the Yorubas do on special occasion is accompanied by music and songs. Oromila is the administrator of all divinities in Yoruba land. It is therefore not surprising that the poetry of other Orishas appear in Ifa verses, because all other divinities are linked in symbiotic relationship to Oromila. Odu Ika Mija illustrates this with an extensive praise chant, Oriki Fasengo, God of Thunder, with an extensive praise chant, Oriki Fasengo, God of Thunder. Isi Ifa is treated as verbal art and as a storehouse of information about Yoruba mythology and cosmology. The aesthetic value of merit of this form of poetry, however, to the Yoruba is in its religious significance. The vehicle of communication of Ifa's message in each Isa Ifa verse is by narration. Stories are told of the problems facing the protagonist and how he resolved it. That sounds like the lovely tarot book we just finished. If you divvy up and do divinations, it tells you of how to solve problems. Lord knows we need some more problem solving in 2023. Amen. This is also applicable to Ayire Ife. It also ends with songs of praise to those who perform the sacrifice, and warning to those who do not follow instructions of Ife. There are some abridged lines of Ifa poetry in the readings that the priest gives to his clients during the divination. On special occasions, the priest will select the Ora Ife that relates to that occasion. For example, during a personal annual Ife festival, an Ife priest will use the actual Odu Ifa that gave birth to the celebrant, which is usually the Odu that appeared during the priest's initiation ceremony. The Babalowas will recite the Odu in full with the songs that accompany it. That is followed by I got notes everywhere, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to read through my notes. That will accompany it. That it is followed by dancing. The celebrant will dance. It will spray money on the asunyeri, the soloist, the performer, and other guests. He will put nairi bills on their forehead. I don't know what a nairi bill is, but I bet you I'm going to find out. Amen. All right. Let's see. The annual Ifa festival for the whole community is similar to the Ifa priest annual Ifa celebration. Ayure Ife is an important invocation that the Babalawa chant on behalf of his community. The king and his chiefs always implore the Araba high priest to select ARABA, to select the person with the best voice and training to play the best of the Asinyere, the soloist. ASUNYERE. It is important to recite here one stanza of Ife poetry that is similar to Ajala poetry of Ogun. This is when I fell in love with the book. Yeah. Oh, that was important. It was real deep. I had to do some studying, but yes. Iji no latobu, ninu igbo hinin, onago femo dine hinin. Edife funajala omo deloko hinin, oniko ruboko libaro di si hinin. Ijala gibo ibo oru bo hinin. Ojibo ire tutu utu o hinin. Eri iro ono bidele eki ijala o hinin. Ipe iri wo loko okiki kan hinin. Irin e papa modo hinin. Irin bi ijanja pi elero tantam. The mighty tree in the forest, hinin, makes its roots to cross the road, hinin. Divine for Ajala, child of the hunter in the farm, hinin. He was advised to sacrifice in order to have a good hunt, hinin, like you do at the altar. Ajala made the sacrifice, hinin. He performed all the rituals, hinin. Itinerant great Ijala, when you get home, hinin, tell him the elephants fall in the forest brought about loud talks, hinin. Elephant with the huge arms, hinin. Elephant with the huge intestine so big that it needed several men to carry it home, hinin. Esanye Alapa Alan Riwaju. It's a picture of him. So it does have a few pictures in it. Chapter 2, Homage. Paying homage is very important at any occasion where Ayere has to be chanted by an Ifa priest. Before the Esanye welcomes members of the audience, before the priest, he begins with the actual Odu Ifa that is selected for the day. For example, Moriba o Moriba ke kibi mi o masi o hini. Iba mi iba ekoda tuti inde ti lori ewi hini. Imba mi imba asere hini. Iba araba in baba iriko iriwo. Sorry, ERIWO hini. Aba onoto iba ona jiban ona yiti moto di li yi hini. Iba alawo ibi ojung bono iba baba iba yiyi hini. Baba a mi iba ni no fojo oni si. Egbi I baba mi iba ni o fojo oni si o. Baba a mi igba ni in no fojo oni si. Whew. I pay homage. I pay homage, may my homage be accepted, hini. My homage to Ekora, he who divined on a leaf, hini. My homage to Esera, hini. My homage to the highest priest of Ifa, the Eraba, head of all the Bablawas, Ifi priest, hini. My homage to the straight road, Idiom. Idiom. That's an English word, y'all. Hinim. My homage to the road that curves into the horizon, the road that I followed here. Hinim. My homage to the Olobo and the Ajogbono. My homage to my father, my homage to my mother. Hinim. Father, I will spend the entire day paying homage. Must be lovely. Chorus. Father, I will spend the entire day paying homage. Father, I will spend the entire day paying homage. Usually paying homage can be as long as the Asuniris depth of experience and knowledge allows. Mine is not as much as this priest. I don't have that much knowledge as this priest, of course. He can make a reference to various items of objects of Ifi to his masters who taught him and for various other reasons. The Asunieri soloist can also mention that the Oriki, the ancestral lineage praise names of each Ifa priest present in order to excite them. He can also recite the praise names of the Arumila as an extortion for the success of the occasion. It is believed that if the soloist has a good, clear voice and is able to recite the praise names of Arumila, the ceremony will be successful because the spirit of Aromila will have been pleased. It is important for every priest at Ifa to know how to recite the praise names of Aromila with a good Ayeri voice. Otherwise, the priest might not be highly regarded. This also applies when chanting Ayeri to other divinities, Agun, Shango, Oya, Esu. Some of these orishas have special ways that must be used to recite their praise names and to invoke them. One way is the oriki, which is used by the Yorubas to describe the power, failure, and noble deeds of the orisas and ancestors. Good ayiri elicits a sense of pride as it raises hopes and acknowledges the family legacy. It also pleases the Orisha. In other words, if one needs an Orisha to listen to one's prayer, one must be able to recite the Oriki of that Orisha to enhance a positive response to one's request. Now listen, just starting out, I ain't know nothing to be singing. I got right on YouTube. I started looking up names. Oshun, Ogu, Yemi, Shango. I may not know a lick of Yoruba, but I can certainly like singing, they like dancing, they like music. I would put on some of them tracks, honey, when it was a ritual day, depending upon the deity that I was wanting to connect with, and I would have a ball dancing, and if I recognized the word, I might sing it. Or I might go back and I might write something in Yoruba later after I translate it from the thoughts that I had during the ritual. So, you don't have to be perfect, you just got to start somewhere. Okay. Ifani, remember, Elegua can translate every language. Every. All right. Ifani niki iyan o moret letu hini. Oromila oni niki I yino mesi akaroba o hini. Ifa in niki a yin omo ele po lopo o jadin hini. Oromila dudu eyin enu ribi okin kini. Ifani inki a yin oni. This must be where she got the word Onika from. Onika inyin ajagun isin ra ni hinin. Koji bi ni ti kolat ni ti osis ACB iga hinin. Afinju olufiti samori wo apoko hinin. Alo ojibi no wi ni mi o oromilo lo no jibi no wi in mi o oromila lo ojibi in o wi fun mi. Ifa says to greet you, Mari li tu idiom. Idiom. I salute you in the name of Ifa, Hini. Oromila said I should greet you, Misa Akaruba Idiom. I salute you in the name of Ifa. Hinin, Ifa says to greet you, he that has plenty of palm oil and will never use palm kernel oil. Hinin. Oromila, the jet dark skin, sporting bright white teeth. Hinin. Ifa says to greet you, the savior at the rear who rides a horse to save mankind from peril. Woo! That's a lot in that chant right there. Hinin. He never fails nor disappoints in saving and blessing his own, the one who sounds sweet like weaver birds. Hinin. The immaculate king of Alufe who cherishes wearing palm fronds. He assures me that he will bless you. He told me he will bless you. Oromila assures me that he will bless you. The recitation is a part of the Oriki who cherishes wearing, it's part of the Oriki of Oromila. It explains in part his personality. The Asunyuri, after paying homage to Oromila, may go to greet the audience. Ene toduro eku aduru hinin, eyantu bere eskiku ikele oo hinin, jigbagbo aberi majoko eku agbodid hinin, ojiti emuro ran ope eti iyi ti imuro ran udu hinin, I oni foji hun sonkun okulagogboro hinin, tu ba di ojorun a ositun rira egbi I, tu ba a jodun as ositori ri. Okay. Tu ba de oju dun e asitun unri ra a oromilo o. Tuba di ojo dun a o si tun un ri ra a. Greetings to the people standing. Hinning. Greeting to those bending down. Hinning. To those who are neither seated nor bending, thank you for coming. Hinning. The joy that pulls you here to watch us perform Ifa right, Ope right. The joy that pulls you here to watch us perform a Rumila right, Edu, Hinning. May the joy never turn sour, Hinning. This time next year we will meet again. They have a chorus. Hinning. This time next year we will definitely meet again. Oromila by the Ase of Oromila. The next year we will definitely meet again. Should the Asonyari like to recite Oriki of individuals, he will say the prayers to accompany the Oriki just as he does for the king, the chiefs, his own teacher, or his own ancestors. Akinrindi omo ope, akanbi omo agbon ni rujun, akorese omoro ira, osisolo omokele di omokele ni ku ogun, hinin osan oni ji a senku ajija oniji oja wako sonu o hinin bi eyan ba pi oku tobo ko yo do bu toba bi boyo domi o hinin ajiri alaka. Whoops. My whatchamacallit fell on me. My fault, y'all. Y'all done fell on the floor and everything. Oh, I had something keeping it in place. That would be the problem. Let me put that back in place because I went to go look up something with that. Okay. Sorry. My fault, y'all. Okay. Okay. Tobacco yo di obu. Toba bi epo yo di omi o hinin. Ajiri alapoko ma wolu otapa. Ajiri alapako ma wolu atapa o. Orumila o. Ojiri alakpa ke ma o lu atapa. Akin Rindi, son of Orumila, Ope is Orumila's alias. Akambi, offspring of Ogbo Nigrigun. Ogbo Nigrigun is Orumila's alias. Rese native always careful of his purchases. Ajisolo, son of the brave warrior, silence is death of war. Hini. May you not die prematurely. Hini. May you not die an untimely death. Hini. Whoever wishes your death, his salt will melt away. He will lose his ire. I-R-E. His oil will turn into water. His luck will turn sour. May your enemies be crushed to death by falling walls. Chorus. Hini. May falling walls crush and kill your enemies. May falling walls crush and kill your enemies. Ooh, Oromila. May falling walls crush and kill your enemies. Another important homage that the soloist or Asun Yere uses in the following example from Odu Agunda Oworin that pays homage to the ancestors. This type of homage to the progenitors is known as Asi. The lagoon was full to the brim, Hinin. The lagoon overflowed, Hinin. Those who swim in shallow water swim in the shallows, Hinin. Those who swim in deep water swim in the deep water, Hinin. Hinin. Then it changed to Hin. It changed from H-I-N-I-N. Excuse me. H-I-N dash dash I-N to H-I dash dash N. It must be a slang. Hin. No longer Hinin. Hin. The water trapped on a rock does not run away. Hin. An elder Muslim reviewed the matter and came to a hopeless conclusion. Their faces covered with thick hair, their thick beard covered their chest. Hin. They performed divination for the progenitors, which is the supreme sacrificial rite in heaven. One's mother is a progenitor. Hin. One's father is a progenitor. Hin. We worshipped our progenitors and were blessed with good fortunes. Hin. Now you know I'm going to go look up pro for something. Gene sounds like Jen. Gen or generation or gene. A person or thing from which a person, animal, or plant is descended or originates, an ancestor or parent. They teach them really good English. It's nice. Or he was taught really good English. Of course, he is a professor. All right. Chorus EE. It was our progenitors who were appeased and were blessed. Oromula OO. It was our progenitors who were appeased and were blessed with good fortune. A good voice and knowledge of the Ifa are the pride of a good Ifa priest. All accomplished Ifa priests regard the ability to recite Ifa poetry well as a mark of success. The priest must also understand Ifa verses and the narratives in addition to herbal and other medicines. Herbal and other medicines. There's that medicine part again. This is perhaps one of the main reasons why Ayere is a competitive art form in a gathering of priests. A soloist must be confident and well prepared before his Ayere recitation. All right. Oki adagio ni aneri o ini tubani iyako padasihin ini obani babani komakalo hining modi egba aja o hining modi fi adi modi kiribi ile kanin hining modi oraro naka ka ewe akbon oro owe mbi loroki awa egbi owo mbi loroki iwa oro mila o owa mbi loroki awa. To the hills of the proven we're now going. Who has a mother should back out. Only those who have fathers should follow us. I arrived at Egba Aja, a town. I went to Ifa Adi, a town. I traveled far to find the domain of the ants. I just got off the porch with the ants. Heen. We then went from Heen to Heen again. I also visited Aurora Nakaka, a town where the leaves make no sound. Good priest is in Oroki or domain. Chorus. Hinin. There is a good priest at Oroki or domain. Oromila I call good priest is at Oroki or domain. Where the leaves make no sound. There are other poetic art forms at Ifa that a priest and Okolites apprentices participate in, which do not require as much preparation and training as does Iyeri. Ofiriri is an example of style of Ifa poetry. It is also called Ifa Ebole. Every 5 days, the apprentice Okolite will kneel before his master Oluwo and ask for the next Odu Ife to be memorized. This is known as Ifa Ebole, Ifa-Abule. Also, when a client consults Ifa, the interpretation and chanting are called Ifa Ebole at a gathering of priests, both young and old. Oferere, O-F-E-R-E. O-F-E-R-E-R-E may be the form used to chant verses from Ifa. It is a repetitive call and response technique designed to refresh the memory of the priest. It could be longer Ifa verses which had been taught earlier at the temple during the Itadugun. That's a pretty word. 17th day. 17th day is what it means. Gathering of the priest. After the priests have performed their rites, food will be served, and at times oti siketi, corn beer, may be served. I never had corn beer. Oti siketi may be served. This may be followed by other important decisions. It is after that time that ofireri begins. It may start with anyone, apprentice, a young or an old prince, as long as he assures himself and of the Odu he wishes to recite. Once he starts, other members may quickly recognize the Odu. At times, the verses which he starts may not be popular verses, but as he proceeds, he includes other verses from the same Odu to prove his knowledge. That is funny. That is confirmation right there. That's what I was working on earlier today, mixing some of them other things in there. Yes, honey. Where's my highlighter? One moment. All my stuff is in Georgia. I had to pick up something real quick just to carry stuff in. And I can't be walking downtown. I like to do a lot of walking. No. Matter of fact, I was downtown the other day. One of the guys come up to me. He said, "I'm hearing voices. Can you call the hospital for me?" And my ride was about to pull up. And I'm thinking to myself, I said, you know what? Maybe them people down there can help you. I don't have a phone on me. And but I was thinking to myself, I didn't even ask him what the voices was telling him. But I feel like everybody hears voices. Your spirit talking to you. Now, some of them voices you got to tune out. You got to say, silence. Talked about this in some of my last videos. You got to say to that voice, suspend. Suspend voice. Voice speak on. Squish. Squish, boy. We ain't doing none of that. So, yes, sir. I can't miss my ride. Trying to help you and the voices. I can direct you to some other folks that can possibly get you to the correct appropriate party. But yeah, and the fact that he just walked up to me and just asked me, you must be trying to catch me off guard, and I'm in unfamiliar territory. And yeah. Anyway, let me continue reading. So, Itadogun. Okay, right of food. We talked about the corn beer. Once you start, other members very quickly. Okay. May not be popular verses, but as he proceeds, he includes other verses from the same Udu to prove his knowledge. That's what I'm going to use right there. If anyone wishes to join him in the recitation, the person must be sure it is from the same Odu that the Babalowa is reciting. If he chants another Odu, he will be considered a novice. This may happen at an Ifa temple and at a gathering of Bablawas. Those occasions are a showcase for well-versed priests with good voices and extraordinary memory. I need to work on all that right there. A priest's good performance enhances his popularity as a highly regarded authority. Highly regarded authority within the community of his peers. There is no particular Odu for this marathon performance, but an Odu becomes appropriate in this challenge. All right. Excuse me, I took a small break and I'm back now. We're going to do another chant here. Style of poetry, Ifi, aka Ibili, is what I wrote here. Excuse me. So I wrote on the side. All right. Ofiriri, oh oh, ofiriri. Egbi ofiriri o. Ofiriri. Ofiriri. Ijiji beri kolo. Ko oniso ife. Igbi. Ofiriri. Ijiji beri kolo. Ko oniso ifa. Kifa oba wa si o. Ki odu ma oba wa si e. Egbi kifa oba wa si o. Ki olo duma oba wa si e. O wanti won si fako. Ki wa oba wa si e. Egbi. O wanti won si fako. Ki wa oba wa si e. Ipilo oro. Boya ajiji o orumila. Egbi ipi o lohun oro. Boya ajiji o orumila. Ofiriri o overiri. Oh. Okay. So Egbi means chorus. Chorus. Onward sailing, onward ever. Onward sailing, let the wind pick it up. Oh, that's the soloist part. Onward sailing, let the wind pick it up. Chorus. Onward ever, let the wind pick it up. May assist us to accomplish our wish. May Lodame assist us to accomplish our wish. Chorus. What part meant soloist? I'll figure that out later. Let me put a little mark here. May the departed priest assist us. May the departed priest assist us. Call him with an appreciative voice. Perhaps that will induce him to answer, oh, Oromila. Call him with an apprentice voice. Perhaps that will induce him to answer, oh, Oromila. Oh, wow. Call and response. This goes along with other verses that the Babalowa might recite by repetition of call and response. The call and response singing enhances and stimulates the memory of the reciters. Enhances and stimulates the memory of the reciters. On these occasions, other priests may join in the recitation of the verses. This continues until they are fairly tired. Even then, they often refresh their memories with 2 or 3 additional odus before they are finished. I need to be doing my poetry just like this. Poetry practice. Call and response. I'm just going to make me a whole video of call and then I'm going to respond to it. Leave me time in between to respond to it. That ought to be nice and just play it on repeat. Yes. Below are some examples of Ifa Obele, which Ifa priests use to interpret the messages from God through Ifa to their clients. This is also how the apprentice is trained. He imitates his teacher until he masters the Odu. Ifa Ebole. They're not lying. They do a lot of chants. Beautiful. Let's get to it. Inituda odimija, ifelompi iritomo. ABP obinmin ka lojo omo nippon. Ifapeo si abiyamo, ironiki won oru. Onati ifa jiba jibe jibe. Ese siro ojo. Nitaruku lala adi favunwo ni idi konrin. Abu funwani idi binrin. Owon oro idi kunrin ojo omo nipunwon. Owon oro idi binrin ojo omo nipon owon na. Ni wondafa awon. Lisi abiyamo beyi wonikin won orubo ni idi konrin ati idi binrin. Owon mijiji ubu nigba ti won o padipo. Won beri si omo ku bi ifalumpi iku mirin ija mirin ligbo. Lovely. Egbibo adi mirin ligbo. Oki owo mirin tin logun lebo. Ki eli o rubotan ko malaribo ifa bini won a robu won beresi omokibi ni won nijo won neo ni won ni awan babalowo etc. Ese siro ojo nitaruko lolo adifa fonwan ni idi konrin. Abun funwon ni idi binrin. Igba ida di meje ni omodi. Ifa says blessing of children to whoever Odu Meji reveals. My gosh. Ifa says a woman is desperate for a child. I don't know about all that. They must be talking about someone they divided for. Let's put a little star there. She will be blessed with children, but to make sacrifice. Confirmation for this message is in the following if a chance. It is the first rainfall that blows away heavy dust. Divine for men on the paternal side. Divine same for women on the maternal side. The men on the paternal side were desperate for children. The women on the maternal side were also desperate for children. $19.99. The world was different in 1999, wasn't it? Okay. They asked Ifa, can we ever be parents? Both paternal and maternal sides were told to make sacrifice. Both sides made the sacrifice when they came together sexually. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube. I'm about to learn though, but it's part of education show. I should be able to. They started having children. IFA says to provide 4 EKU, specifically prepared rat, 4 Ija, specifically prepared catfish, and 4 hens for sacrifice. 320,000 calories, about $300 or its equivalent in local currency, be sacrificed. Okay. After the sacrifices, they do still do sacrifices in Africa, by the way. Yeah. After the sacrifice is made, they have enjoined to pray constantly to Ifa. They did all that and they began to have children. They were very happy. They thanked and praised the Babalawas. How did it come to be like that? It's the first rainfall that blows away heavy dust. Divine for men on the paternal side, divine same for women on the maternal side. After they came together sexually, they were blessed with children. It is no gainsaying that not all Ifa apprentices are able to recite Ayire poetry well because of the demands on memory. I just got finished talking about stuff to do for memory. Its extensive body of text demands an ability that goes beyond just being able to carry a tune. The soloist must have a good ear for the exact pitch, timing, and tune. You know what? This sounds like a rare necessity in this day and age. That sounds like a skill set not everybody has. Put skill set here. Rare. Those who will be versatile in Ayire poetry must also have a strong Ifa protection to boost their confidence and ability to remember. Confidence. The training for Ayire starts at an early age like other Ifa lessons. While a Sanyere concentrates on Ife Ebule in order to earn a living, he will also study Ayire most usually during the Ita Dogun. While songs and music are studied by others who may not necessarily have good voices, all sections of Ifa training require keen memory, discipline, humility, and respect. Oh, yes, Lord, I hear you. Let me put 411 by that. If an apprentice is arrogant, it might work against him in acquiring the knowledge of those long and important verses with good stories. Apprentice is arrogant. Well, let's not be that. His master may teach him others which might not be as interesting. Therefore, humility becomes part of the lessons for an Asuyiri in training. An apprentice lives with his master. He works closely with him even on his farm or does other domestic work for him. The Asuyiri pays only for Ifa medicine. The first stage is voice imitation and scheduling, while the second stage is the concentration on other aspects of Ifa songs and music. It is important to note that some apprentices of Ifa may not pay much attention to Ire training because of a Yure adagi that says, Ole ni farojo. It's the indolent who spends his early morning dancing. If someone concentrates only on songs and music without the deeper understanding and the knowledge that will earn him a living in the future, that person is regarded as a lazy man and may lose the respect of his community. Besides voice imitation training, a would-be asanyuri must study other social functions that can entertain and inform the audience. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mastery of Mastery of oriki of important personalities will also always earn him good money for the performance. Master of oriki of important personalities. So that's 5 things you'd have named. Power 5. Do a breakdown. It is important for the asanyuri to have various methods of presentation to excite and to hold the attention of his audience. Various methods of presentation. You just keep schooling me, don't you? It will enhance his authority and fame. Dressing and dances are other ways to attract an audience, and the person who holds the title of Bel Asanyuri must be able to live up to the reputation of Bel Asanyuri. The training does not have a specified time. As soon as the trainee is able to perform, he will be allowed to perform in the presence of people. If he realizes money or gifts from such performance, this will be given to his master. Oh. He graduates only at the discretion of his teacher. At times, the period spent by asanyuri I just got 10 lessons just that fast. Page 20. Page 20, 433. June 3rd. 433. Okay. In other fields of Ifa training, it is more extensive. Asanyuri starts his training with the study of vocalization, the throat chakra. The sound of his voice must arouse spirits as well as excite individuals. Well, I'm definitely doing that right now. There are 4 sets of traditional gongs for the music of Ifa. In some towns, only one gong is used to accompany aron. Kettle drum. But in other places, the gong can be played alone. These 4 sets of gongs produce different tones, sounds, and rhythmic patterns as different from town to town. Just going to put 4 there until later. The lead omele in Osogbo area is called sagbe. The first omele sets the key tone and direction of music. The omele player, omele is how it's pronounced, but maybe it's pronounced omele, who knows? Player must be able to keep time confidently and must be with the rhythm that sounds like segbe, segbe, The second gong follows the leading sound like fere, 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 fara, ferere, fere, fere. The fourth sound will sound like Shabata, Jabata, Lolo, Ha, Lolo, Ha. And when the four segments are combined, it will produce a beautiful orchestral sound. I was doing this earlier too, was going through my mind. Thank you for the confirmation. I greatly appreciate it. Let's just do this here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Choir, the choir. I was just thinking this morning about how to make the audience be the choir. Well, not make. Invite and allure the audience to be the crowd, so that they could make beautiful, I didn't phrase it this way, but beautiful orchestral sounds. Okay. Oh, I had no clue that was in here because I hadn't gotten that far in reading. As you can see, my notes have ended, and I have started some notes while I'm talking to you. Another important part of Ifa music is aran, kettle drum. It is called epese or agba in some places. The drums are made differently. In Oya, it is called ijidan, and it's played with the hand. But in Osun State, it is played with drumstick. The drums are made differently. In Odo Uting area, the drum is elongated. It is called agba ibole. The player beats the drum with both hands while standing behind it. Some areas do not have the Aran drum, but they use both gongs and dun-dun talking drum. Aran drum is played during the weekly celebration at the Ifa temple after the priest has recited the appropriate Odu Ifa for the day. Aran is also played during the annual Ifa festival and during funeral rites for important Ifa priests. Annual Ifa festival. Annual Ifa festival. And I am questioning some destinies in this music that I just made, so we might as well put wherever that's taking place at. Whoops. For the festival as well. I'm doing too much movement. Let me put this over here. Too much moving and shaking going on. All right. It is in, let's see. Oh. It is important to note that not all Ifa priests are allowed to play the Aran drum at funerals for other priests. I'm going to have to look up what this Aran drum is. I'm going to get finished with this paragraph first, though. Only those who have been initiated and have received a chieftaincy title at the temple are allowed the honor of playing the Aran drum. The soloist or bell asanyure will announce the first Adu recital. And once has finished the announcement, music, song, and dance will follow. A babalowa is a person who has been trained for the role. Most are believed to be predestined and are trained from childhood for this exclusive role. Wow. Because of the nature and responsibilities of the office, most babalawas are considered natural born for the role and generally are not made. Gotcha. The profession of Ifa requires a lot of discipline, extraordinary memory, commitment, and dedication. I need to have all those. Therefore, few people are known as babalawas in the classical sense. That finished that paragraph. Ooh, excuse me. Memory, commitment, dedication, discipline, memory. That sounds that discipline. Not Janet Jackson discipline either. Yes, I have a sense of humor. You do need that, but not for right here. Yeah, okay, all right. Extraordinary memory. Commitment. And dedication. I'm not even going to leave that in the book. I need to put this right here and lay it under my pillow later. All right. Let's go look up what an Audron drum is. I'm just nosy. Hold on. Audron drum. I'm still here, y'all. Well, here it is. And it's not something apparently that you can get everywhere. It's a rare drum. Goron drum. Traditional item. I was seeing if there was another example for you all, in case y'all are nosy like I am. Internet says it is at the Osa Awori Temple Traditional Item Store. They do have a website. Certificate of Registration of Business Name. They got that up here. Oh, that's some beautiful work. Okay, come on, Temple. Come on, I'm just going to scroll. I buy a lot of my products, African products that I have purchased either from people I know or off of Etsy. I do talk in my book about how, and I didn't learn till later, you have to be careful where you get your products from, because the energy, which is why you do cleansing when you get your products. I'm gonna hit like on that store. I like them. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Let me not to forget to put that in place. With the Yoruba belief system, many ordinary people do not want or wish to become an Ifa priest because of the hardship experienced during the training process, plus the small monetary remuneration. The same applies to women. When Ifa chooses a woman to become an Abetimi, wife of a Babalowa, most will object. Oh my. Apart from the extensive collection of Ifa text, verses, and stanzas, one can safely claim that the Korpara, Ese Ifa, are the most documented form of Yoruba traditional poetry. The Babalowa is not only a well-trained traditional doctor, nurse, or midwife. You got a lot of roles. He is also trained to minister to the spiritual health of the community. My God, when do you get a break? Okay, Lord, this is a tall call. That's four jobs right there. 5 to include poetry and poetry. That's 5. 6 singing. 7 musician. We haven't even thrown in husband in there. 8 spouse. That is 8 jobs right there. We ain't even talked kids. You just got finished talking about kids. 7, 8, 9. I'm sorry, not kids. Children. It's a tall order. Tall order. Not to mention if you're writing books, 6, 7, 8, 9. Books makes 10, and if you're doing music or acting or something, music, 11, acting. There are different forms of divination all over the world. It is necessary for the acolyte to focus on one form of divination so as to have a good start in all his endeavors. Focus on one form of divination. I'm glad I am reading this lovely novel. 12. Divines. Focus on one form. I was going to do another book first, but I did this book first. I'm so glad I am. In the Yoruba belief system, Ifa is consulted before any important decision is made, including opening a new market, starting a business, guiding the life of a newborn baby, choosing a partner for marriage, etc. Or when one encounters the problems of living, guidance is all in the Ifa corpus. Ifa is consulted in life's thoroughfare. Most Yoruba still consult Ifa regardless of their religious beliefs. Whenever a traditionalist wants to consult Ifa, he or she whispers his or her problems to the consultation money. Consultation money. This is not exclusive to the Yoruba belief system. It has a universal thing. In ancient times, the Greeks and the Etruscans consulted the oracle. The Greeks and the Etruscans. Let's put a little thing by Etruscans. The Aborigines and the Algonquin Indian are also known to have consulted the oracle. Aborigines, the people in Australia. I've never heard of Algonquin Indians. Let me put a little star right there. But I have heard of the others. Aborigines are also known as have consulted the oracle. In other cultures, they're shamans and seers. In the West, there's the horoscope based on astrology, which I would love to know more about. The Chinese I Ching is still consulted worldwide. I'm going to put a love here. Love. In Yoruba land, there are many systems of divinations from which a traditional practitioner can choose. There is the 16. Let me start 1, since they're naming them all. They should say, anyway, whatever. Carries. I mentioned that in the tarot card book, the 16 carries. Earring Logun, which is cast on a tray called ate, and looks like the word ate, A-T-E, like she ate. Okay, them 16 calories and 8. Y'all got. And there are those who divine with 3 calories called Elita. There are those who use 4 is called Ilirin. 2, 3. And some of us only use 2 calories called Eligi. All of these were common in the ancient times. Nice. Oh, types of divination. We also have Agbigba, a set of 4 separate strings with 4 markings used as a divinational instrument. That's 5. The 16 carat system was given to Oshun by Orunmila. Matter of fact, here we go. Yep. 5. The Hierophant. That's when he went away and she used his power while he was away. And he said, no, you can't. Here's your own system. Take these 16 calories. The Hierophant. All right. Oh, as far as books, that is. Patikas of the Orisha Tarot, Andrew McGregor Obatanimi. That's the book I just used to show you. All right. Okay. And since I'm here, 5 Hierophant. Okay. It was Oshun who spread the knowledge of Kawi divinations to all divinities. In the past, 5 Kawis, Arun, Ana, Dafa. See anything about 5 Kawis in that other? Were used as a consultation fee as confirmed in the following adage. That makes me wonder, how much is 5 Kawis worth? If that was the consultation fee. Omu iji kon ita olo oko aro. He took 2 and handed 3 to it and consulted with the priest. Oromila is Eli Ripin, the witness of destiny. He is believed to have been appointed by the supreme god for this role. When one consults Ifa, it means one consults the creator. The scripture that God gave to Oromila is known as Odu Ifa. It contains 256 chapters with uncountable verses. It embraces everything. It is the single authority on all Yoruba genre, history, art, and linguistics, present and future. Oh, you know what? Just get rid of the cap. All right. He took 2 and added 3 to it and consulted with the priest. The witness of destiny. Put whatchamacallit here. When one consults Ifa, it means one consults the creator. The scripture that God gave to Mula is known as Odu Ifa. 256 chapters with uncountable voices. It embraces everything in single authority of your genre, history, art, linguistics, present, and future. What's the 411? So I put 411 there. Ifa divination system consists of 2 methods, the Opele Ifa and the Iken Ifa. Opele Ifa is easier. The Opele is made into a string with 8 half nuts of Opele seed, known as Isi Agun Tan. There's a type of Opele made with metal called Opele Abalufan. The 2 ends have cowries or old coins attached to them. The Babalawa holds the chain at the middle and throws it forward on a mat or a divining bag. The first Odu that appears with will be interpreted for the client. The Odu that follows is for a specific answer, a yes or no, using the Ibu. We talked about yes or no in the book as well. All right. Once the Ifa priest has obtained the Odu, the interpretation will follow and the necessary sacrifices prescribed. A second divination system is Ikin Ifa, or the 16 sacred palm kernels. This is used mainly on very important occasions, as it is the one often used to determine long-term or more complex issues. So complex. And for this other one here, I'm going to put KISS. Keep it simple, sweetheart. The 16 Ikin Ifa will be given to the client, who will whisper the problem into it before giving it back to the diviner. Whisper. Come here, let me whisper in your ear. The priest will sprinkle Aye A Rosun divining powder on the divining tray called Opun Ifa. I'm going to have to go through this book several times, honey. Then make necessary arrangements for the client to sit in a certain position as he puts the Adibo on the right side of the tray. The priest will begin the process by paying homage to Aloduma, God, the ancestors, his masters, and teachers. Homage. Homage. He will cup the 16 palm kernels in his left hand as he attempts to pick up as many of the kernels as he can with the right hand. This sounds fun. If one kernel remains in his palm, he makes 2 fingers in the divining power. So let me put over here, we already went through the different types of divining. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then there are 2 systems. Two fingers in the divining powder Are Arosun on the Opan Ifa tray. If it is 2, he makes 1 fingerprint. So 1 kernel for 2 prints. 2 kernels, 1 print. No mark will be made when an icon Efa drops or when more than 2 remain in his left hand. This is how the first Odu grows. After this, the priest will ask other questions for clarification of the messages revealed during divination. Interpretation of the Odu Ifa follows, and the sacrifice is prescribed which the client may do or may not choose to do. The sacrifice. The sacrifice is prescribed. Gotcha. The client is not bound to perform the sacrifice, but those who perform the prescribed sacrifice often achieve their goal. The role of the Babalawala is not limited to the reading of the Odu Ifa and performing the sacrifice for clients. As pointed out earlier, the Babalawa may also perform the duty of a midwife if he were also trained for that. Most Babalawas have traditional clinics. They also attend to barren women as well as cure sick people. Their civic duties include performing necessary rites to prevent epidemic diseases, from spreading in the community. They often perform sacrificial rites for rain during a prolonged drought or famine. When a new king is to be selected in town, Ife is consulted for assistance in selecting an appropriate candidate whose reign will bring peace and prosperity to the community. Ababalowa also provides spiritual diets for troubled souls by prescribing healing chants from Ifa scripture. This is lovely. Okay. Listen, I appreciate you. The little thing done dropped several times today. The phone. And y'all still rocked with me through the video, wanting to learn more, just like me. Kudos to you. Kudos to us, hunty child. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. You know, I do have my first Orisha book written to give you the basics if you are a beginning practitioner, worker, and you are learning about the 7 African powers, the beginning, or just want to become more familiar with them, or you want to gift a friend. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe you want to gift a family member or a friend who's just beginning if you are already into it. But I'm going to read some more of that book. Not tonight, though. Lovely. And I hope you enjoyed, besides the dropping on top of the head. And I'm going to probably have to do, when I finish reading the book, I'm going to probably go ahead and go back through and write down everything that I don't understand, or in a more simpler order as far as journal format. But we'll see how this goes first and the response that it gets. But thank you for joining me. Oh, I do have a book at Amazon.com. That is the third dropping. I am so sorry. Mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. I just kissed your forehead. Okay. Let me see if I can, because I keep forgetting. I got it. I'd like to try it. Try to move through that. 7 sacred practices for beginning. 7 African power. The 7 African power sacred practices for beginning practitioners. I just had to slow down. And I will put the link in the comments. I also have journals, clip notes. I'm not moving that book. I'm not moving the Patika's book, okay? We don't need no more. We don't need no concussions from the internet. But I also have a matching. I have cliff notes to go to the book, and then to the Patika's tarot book, and then I also have journals to go to the 7 African Orishas book that I have written, and it does have a journal to go and coincide with that. That's something more personal that I work with you on, so you're not just buying a book. I do want us, if you have questions, to hit me up with questions. I do give homework assignments for you to follow up with me, things of that nature. So if you do buy the book, I look forward to talking with you one-on-one for consults and answering emails. So it's not just like buy the book, hey, whoopee, you're on your own in regards to the things mentioned in it. It does talk about candle magic, setting up your altar, meditation, yoga. Talks about your crystals and gemstones, the importance of your finding your birth code, things of that nature. And then I list all the 7 Orishas, and I give the aligning gemstones that match them, as well as talk about their favorite items from personal experience. So, beautiful piece of artwork. Yeah, lovely. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Is Saturday. Wonderful rest of your weekend, honey child. Okay? Mwah. Amen and I see.